There's a question I've been asking myself quite a lot lately. What am I doing here? Sure, I like the job, always have, but I can't believe I'm nudging 70. Shouldn't I have handed in my pencil and typewriter when I hit 65? Shouldn't I be enjoying my twilight years, fishing and being irritated by my beautiful grandchildren? I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but if, like me, you've been dreaming of retirement, then it's time to wake up, because it seems retirement is a word we can no longer afford to speak.
All right. Excellent.
Is that all right?
That was great, Charlie. Well done.
Thanks, mate. Actually, you might find it a little depressing, because there are 3.5 million of us in Australia, you and me, over the age of 60, with no prospect, or very little prospect, of ever retiring. Really, it seems that the dreams we might ever have had of putting up our feet might be just that, dreams. What do you think is the future of retirement? What do you realistically think?
I don't think there'll be a concept of retirement. Retirement is a word from another age.
Way back in the 1990s, I wasn't even thinking about retirement when the nation's treasurer, Peter Costello, told us it wasn't an option. And today, that advice hasn't changed. Peter Costello is now my boss at Channel 9, and I'm, well, a bit older. Look, I'm of retiring age. You're the chairman. When can I go? When should I go?
You ought to keep going until you drop.
Work till you drop. Yes, it's all coming back to me. That famous or infamous Costelloism.
Work till you drop. It wasn't my best vote-getting line.
No.
But it was true. I think there are people that thought at 65, 67, 70, they might have enough to retire on, but they won't. And it's been a very testing investment climate. And I'd say to retirees now, better take a big interest in this, because investment returns are going to be really challenged in the years ahead.
You like my groovy music?
Retirement as a concept has been retired, replaced by the less pleasant work till you drop, as Ingrid Pitch is discovering.
I know it's a killer.
The 72-year-old personal trainer is sprightly and charming.
And again.
She'd rather have her feet up,
Is it hurting you?
but she's incredibly upbeat about her working lot in life. When are you going to start aging?
What's that?
You love your job, don't you?
I do. And you know what is really, that gives me a real kick is when you have the ability to help somebody. But I don't consider this work.
So chicken and the egg argument, I mean, are you so terrific because you're still working, or are you still working because you're so terrific?
Both.
She modestly answered.
I think it's a combination. I'm just one of those people. I'm out there. I'm energy. And that's the only way I can function.
Ingrid is fit as a fiddle and vivacious. I could have talked to her all day, but she had work to do.
Not shy. And another one.
She also has a love job.
By the legs.
Babysitting her grandchildren, 3-year-old twins Sienna and Joshua.
Oh, I can get all the way to the top.
And here's another reason there's no such thing as retirement. Around 900,000 Australian kids are being cared for by their grandparents.
And another one.
So even if you do manage to retire, the unpaid work carries on. Looking on the bright side, it means Ingrid is probably Melbourne's fittest grandma, working in both paid and unpaid work until she drops.
We used to have 5 taxpayers for every person in retirement.
Yeah.
Soon it's going to be 2. And we just can't carry that. More people in retirement on pensions, less people in the workforce paying tax.
Yeah.
The equation doesn't add up. It can't be done.
How's that?
Peter Costello provides a social and economic argument for a later, much later, or never retirement.
When the age pension was introduced in Australia, and we set the retirement age at 65, life expectancy was 55. That is, we expected everyone to die, on average, before they got the pension, right? Now, of course, at 65, you want to go on the pension, your life expectancy is another 22 years.
Yep.
It's a very different world.
A different world indeed, Mr. Treasurer. Today, the most common age for a living Australian is 66. From next year, they'll have to be that age, 66, to qualify for the age pension. But an even bigger worry for oldies already facing high housing costs and very low interest rates in their life savings is a lack of superannuation. The average super balance of an Aussie reaching retirement age is hovering at around $155,000.
So nice and slow. On the
So
way down.
many Australians, like Ingrid, have no choice but to follow Costello's keep working
Nice
advice.
and slow. Slow on the way down and
Now, you love it, but let's face it, you need the money.
Absolutely. I think we're getting to that stage because to live now on a pension and renting, it's impossible. It's virtually impossible. I don't know. I will be horrified. I'd have to live like that.
But in the industrial heartland of Melbourne, I find Bob Lord the exception to the rule. 30 years older than me, he wants to keep working until he drops.
Into there like that.
He's an extraordinary man,
I'll take that out of there.
an electrical engineer of great genius, and at 95 years of age, he's still inventing and still on the tools.
And I want every scrap of...
Ironically, his company designs equipment, gadgets and contraptions that make it easier for older employees to stay in their physically demanding jobs for longer. 60 years ago, would you have ever thought you'd still be working here in your 90s?
Oh, I've never given it a thought, I don't think, Charlie. No, I felt that I'd go on forever. It's the sort of thing that you get enjoyment out of. There's a certain amount of creativity about it.
Will you, as they say, work till you drop?
Well, I don't mind if that's how it works out. And people say, oh, what do you do with yourself in your spare time? I say, I don't have any spare time. I'm busy, busy, busy.
Slide it across and there you go. The wheelchair can go straight up onto the train.
And so is Bob's grandson, Stuart, who's also in the family business and who, even now, knows he'll never retire.
I don't really see people stopping work like it used to be, saying, oh, I'm looking forward to retiring. It's more of a difference now where people are now going, you know what, I will be working to 80 plus. 95 is probably an extreme case, but I think the 80s is probably going to be the normal from in the near future or now.
Stuart is not alone. Most younger Australians now accept they'll be working into their 70s and beyond. So, does that mean the millions of grey nomads
Here's to happy hour again.
now happily mooching around the back blocks of the country are an endangered species?
I even had a shave today.
I caught up with a defiantly happy retired couple just outside Tamworth to see if Costello's words ring true out here.
The minute we both retired, neither one of us have got the stress anymore. And by not having stress, I think we'll live longer, you know, and we're enjoying every minute of it. And what more can you want, you know? Life's too short. The Skywalk.
Roy Payne once had a high-powered job as an international machinery salesman. If he didn't quite move mountains, he supplied the gear that did. But he cautions that retirement is hard work. Not only did he have to overcome the lack of income, but he suffered from relevance deprivation.
I ended up having an anxiety attack, and it lasted for 2-3 weeks. I didn't know what it was. I couldn't sleep, couldn't get my head down on a pillow, and I'd become that nervous. It just was frightening.
Yeah, you tell me that story, I feel like laughing about the kind of stress and pressure and anxiety you have in your life here.
It sounds funny, but at the end of the day, people do suffer with it. And
It's an adjustment.
Yes, yeah.
But for Roy's wife, Nairi, after 49 years of boring work as a bank teller and a toll collector, with long commutes and endless balance sheets, she was more than happy to give it all away. What's life like now?
It's fabulous. We're on the road probably a good 6 months of the year. Summer we go south, winter we go north. And there's no pressure. No pressure at all.
What did you think about Peter Costello when he was Treasurer? His advice was work till you drop.
No way.
You think it's easy for politicians to say?
Yes.
Yeah, you have to forfeit a lot of things. We don't eat out at restaurants anymore. We don't buy posh bottles of wine or beer. We always look for something that's on discount. So you know,
I can see you guys are doing it really tough.
we're doing it tough, but we're doing it in style.
Well, it's all the same to me. We're doing great big oil and good prices.
While out Tamworth Way, I stopped in to see an old friend, the ever-popular 72-year-old John Williamson.
Oh, thank you. You having a good time, Tamworth?
He's still the voice of Australian country music and of enduring performance.
You know, I've been thinking about retiring, but you keep turning up. How can I give it away when I see all those fantastic faces?
His voice and his humour, as always, are dry as an outback creek.
Might on toast.
And so long as it's fun, why wouldn't he remain working for as long as the song is still in him?
You're sending people away happy, sending them feeling proud of Australia, proud of themselves. It's a great job. It's my hobby and I'm still making a living out of it. So I think the big key thing to retiring is you've got to have something to get you out of bed in the morning, and if you haven't got that, you're buggered.
If John Williamson provided the soundtrack for a long life on the road,
And there's a lot of retirees here.
95-year-old Bob Lord's inventions are the animation. I don't know if Bob has quite realised it, but I think what he's developed here is a handy reporter mobility device on which I shall power myself into a Peter Costello future from which there shall be no retirement. What do you think is the future of retirement? What do you realistically think?
I don't think there'll be a concept of retirement. Retirement is a word from another age. You know, the Rolling Stones are still singing rock in their 70s. You know, and as long as there are 80-year-old singers, 80-year-old rock and rollers will be turning out to listen to them.
Still room for you there?
Room for both of us.